We start off today with some breaking news. Tiffany Fitzhenry, never actually heard of her, but apparently she works for Disney, or worked for Disney. Breaking: Disney child star Jordan Pruitt comes forward with explosive details about a handler, groomer, child sex abuser with total control over her career. This is everything we've been talking about. So proud of this young woman. This will start a flood. Singer Jordan Pruitt reveals she was sexually abused as a teenager. Hopefully that'll bring the rest down. Pay attention to France, because the oligarchy is about to show every American why they better hold on to their guns. Yeah. 14 Israelis suspected of running child sex trafficking ring in Colombia. Network allegedly marketed trips from Israel for tourists to have sex with minors who were forced into positions in prostitution. 6 Israelis held, arrest warrants issued for other suspects. Capita wins $1 billion NHS contract to oversee administration. Deal will encourage the private sector, expecting more healthcare opportunities. This is basically them selling off the NHS. Capita, the FTSE 100 outsourcer, has won a $1 billion contract to supply administrative support to the NHS as Britain's state-funded healthcare service increasingly seeks to use the private sector in its pursuit of savings. No, you don't save anything when you put it into the private sector. It goes through the roof. Just look at the American healthcare system. It costs thousands and thousands just to get a broken bone fixed. This would be disastrous for the British people, men, women, children. The 7 to 10 year contract will see Capita provide NHS primary care providers such as GPs, opticians, pharmacists and dentists with a range of back office services, including payment administration and the management of clinical records. In other words, it's more privatisation and another way for the corrupt to steal from the NHS. Brexit. UK could quit EU without paying a penny, say Lords. Report says British government has no legal obligation to pay for Brexit or outstanding payments into the EU budget. The European Commission headquarters in Brussels, photograph blah blah blah. The UK could walk away from the European Union in 2019 without paying a penny, the House of Lords has said in a report bound to raise tensions with Brussels in a run-up to Brexit talks. The British government would have no legal obligation to either pay a 52 billion pounds, 6 billion euros Brexit bill mooted by the European Commission, or honour payments into the EU budget promised by the former Prime Minister monster David Cameron, the pig shagger, according to analysis by the House of Lords EU Financial Affairs Subcommittee. I've been saying this all along. Repeal the 72 Act, we're out. Don't pay them anything. And then that £52 billion could sort this country out and make it the best country on the planet. But for a corrupt, satanic government. 160 plus world countries approve UN pact on migration. A bunch of treasonous traitors are selling out their country because they're just puppets for the Rothschilds. That's a disgrace. This was off Chris Everard's Facebook page. Macron's offer, €100 extra on the minimum wage. Yellow vests reject his offer. What about the 900 million tax Google haven't paid in France? What about the hundreds of millions of dollars of sweetheart tax deals Jean-Claude Juncker set up for PayPal, eBay and all the other mega corporations who make a fortune from French and European business? But more than all of this, Macron's pathetic offer of an extra €100 could have been made a month ago, and that would have meant that the Gestapo cops would not have murdered 4 people during the disturbances. If he had started negotiations meaningfully and pledged to start demanding back taxes from these corporations, then Paris business would not have lost hundreds of millions of euros in last tourism income. The last month has seen 100 million wiped off the income of tourist business because of Macron. Will he repay this out of his own Rothschild-tailored pockets? Macron offered tax-free on Christmas bonuses, but most people in France do not get a bonus at Christmas. Macron should take a 50% pay cut and cut all the wages of all ministers, advisors, all French MPs, all civil servants, and pay that saved money into a social fund for the people. That is the demands which he must now agree to. The image is of France, looks like a screenshot from an apocalyptic video game, or the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Doctor accused of financing abductions says crimes were covered up. Grafton man and 3 other accused of helping mothers hide their children in violation of court orders. A New South Wales doctor accused of financing an abduction ring that helps mothers take and hide their children in violation of family court orders says the truth will come out and he will be the one to expose it. So basically, where they're trying to steal your kids, he has built up some sort of underground place where they can escape to and lay low to keep the kids safe. And he's being prosecuted for that, just like in the UK, where they're a bunch of corrupt scum. How many people want to have sex with a robot? Very few, I would think. I'm not going to read it, but Soros mimics Hitler's bankers, will burden Europeans with debt to save them. So he's going to chunk a load of debt onto Europe to save them. You see how the criminals' minds work? May's appointment was the end of Brexit, claims Leave EU campaign boss. I never wanted it, and so you're not getting it, is the picture, of course. And yeah, I would probably agree with that. The scum. Europe refuses to budge. I can't get out. May stuck in EU and her car amid claims 48 no confidence letters sent. First pick of OP Cocaine Cruise 2. If she can't get out, simply repeal the 72 Act. We're out. But of course she's a puppet, as if you saw yesterday's you'll know. Express. Smile that says ants ready for TV return. Despite May's desperate whistle-stop tour to win concessions on Brexit, obstinate EU leaders dig in their heels. So today we ask, do you want 39 billion or not? We shouldn't be giving them anything. As I said earlier, we don't have to give them anything. Just repeal the 72 Act, repeal the Lisbon Treaty because it was signed by traitors, and we're out, and we don't pay them anything, and that 39 or 50 billion, whatever it is, can be used in this country. But we need to get rid of these criminals in Parliament, because they'll just give it away to other countries, because they don't give a shit about you or I, just about themselves. British fishermen warn off French invaders. Christmas coup as Javid rebukes the PM on immigration. Prime Minister threatened with confidence vote from Tory MPs within days after backbench Grandee asked to see her this afternoon. Bullshit. They've all discussed what they're going to do. This is just smoke and mirrors they carry out. They carry out this charade so you think, oh look, something's happening, when they've already planned what's going to happen. Cabinet ministers believe threshold for leadership challenge has now been reached. Lose and she's out, win and she's safe for a year. Home Secretary sets out credentials to be Tory leader and criticise May's own immigration policy is about bringing numbers down, nothing else. Boris Johnson loses weight and works MP's tea room to build support. The PM's goose is nearly cooked. The 8p pill that could helps MS sufferers. Everybody knew about it, and everybody who says they didn't knew is a liar. Don't know what it's about. It doesn't say any more than that. Daily fail. May braced for leadership battle with rebel MPs poised to trigger votes to oust her. Hammer blow comes after she's rebuffed by Europe over last-ditch bid to save Brexit deal. The vultures are circling. Even the vultures wouldn't go near that horrible thing. Mirror. Revolting Tories. Insiders claim rebels have the 48-letter trigger for a no-confidence vote in May. New low in spice epidemic. Children of 11 selling zombie drugs. True scale of addiction exposed as Prince William highlights the horror. Yeah, right. He'll be one of the major importers. The Guardian. We're in a heavy, dangerous place right now. A dash of Europe, but May faces new threat at home. Terror alert after deadly attack in Strasbourg. Yeah, well, things aren't going to plan, so let's have a false flag, shall we? Minerva in the margarine. Romana Stura kept in an old Roman statue kept in an old tub of flora turns out to be 2,000-year-old treasure. Telegraph. May facing a Brexit moment of reckoning. Ex-cabinet ministers send no confidence letters with PM on brink of leadership battle. Terror hits Christmas market in Strasbourg. Yeah, keep them in terror, you'll keep them in control. Gunman in shootout was known to police. Facebook will forecast your next destination because you give too much data out on there. You're telling me, well, you like this, you like that, you go here, you go there. I don't give anything apart from this sort of stuff out. Home recycling falls as more waste is burnt. It's hard to be a working mother, but harder to stay at home. Metro. It's on terror at Christmas market. Gay kids at a greater risk of depression because they don't know if they're gay or not, but you crazy school with your transgender bullshit is screwing them up further. The loneliest railway station in the country. 200 Diana dress sells for 161,000. Shame of Sterling abuse fan. Harry's getting out of there. Not EU again. May goes back to Europe to save the betrayal of the British people, to try and get them to just give her anything so that she doesn't have to betray us so much, except of course she doesn't give a shit about us. Unindependent. What is going on in the PM's head? Well, Satanism. Chelsea's first black player talks racism. Seeing through the social mobility myth. A referendum won't divide us further. We've had a referendum, we voted to leave. If you don't follow the vote at that referendum, then what's the point of having another one? Of course, this apart from, of course, if you're figuring on fixing it so we remain, and then you go, oh, that's it, it's all over with. Clinging on May's dash around Europe. NHS waiting list for vital care double under Tories. Lung cancer patients among those facing delays for treatment. The Times. Hell Holly, power behind Queen of the Jungle. Bump chick, how our fashion editor inspired Parasite look. May puts on brave face as Tories prepare fatal blow. Terror alert after gunman runs amok in Strasbourg. MPs near 48 letters needed for confidence vote. Cabinet to increase pressure on no deal plans. Wages surge ahead. Don't believe that for a second. Prostate cancer scan. Accused peer quits. China arrests envoy. Pension funds hit. Race abuse denial.